And welcome back to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth here in cloudy and windy Utica for Game 2 of a two-game doubleheader here. The Stallions falling in the first one 3-0 due to some stellar pitching from the starting pitcher in Zuffer for the Blue Sox. Stallions are looking to put that one immediately behind them as we get ready to go here for the second game of action. We'll start off with your Stallion lineup. Leading off, designated hitter Jelani Rogers. Playing shortstop, batting second, Evan Goforth. At third base, batting third, Brandon Fish. Cleanup spot 4, Jake Skrine playing first base. In right field, Garrison Berkeley. Center field, Easton Bertrand. Batting seventh, extra hitter Garrett Michelle. Batting eighth, playing left field, David Shackelford. In the 9-hole, Brett Heckert playing second base. And behind the dish tonight, Nico Amory rounding out the Stallion lineup. And on the mound for your Stallions will be Jack Walker. We'll talk about him in just a moment as we are ready to go here in Utica. On the mound for Utica, the right-hander Alex Canino. Canino, a senior out of Limestone University. First pitch at 7:43 p.m. here, 1-0 to Jelani Rogers. Canino throws a second pitch, evening the count now 1-1. Canino, a submarine right-handed pitcher, attacking the zone early. Logan joining me today for tonight's color. Logan, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good as Jelani Rogers lays down a quick bunt. Looks like he's going to beat
that
that
out. There. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Logan. Great bunt, drag bunt there. Jelani Rogers getting the Stallions their first hit, first base runner of this one. As you were saying, Logan.
So, well, I mean, it's starting out really good so far as Jelani Rogers able to get these Stallions with a quick single to open out, and the Stallions offense looking for better results after the opening game where they really didn't get much going until things came a little late in that 7th inning where they loaded up the bases, couldn't bring across a run.
First time the Stallions have been shut out all year, bringing their 6-game winning streak to a dead halt as Evan Goforth swings at the first pitch he sees, lining it out to the shortstop over there, making the play is Short. We'll get into the Utica lineup here in just a moment as Short trying to throw out Rogers at first base, unable to do so. Stepping in now will be the third baseman Brandon Fish with one away here. Fish takes the first pitch he sees, and that'll hit the outer black for a called strike 1.
Yeah, Kyle, it was a rough first game for Brandon Fish. Didn't really get much going. He kept the ball on the ground against that pitching for Utica as Jelani's on the move.
Jelani is throwing over behind him, unable to get him out at second base with a fantastic slide. Time is called, and the head coach from Utica will come out and have a conversation with the field umpire. Not much of a conversation there as the coach won't even make it past the third base foul line. And it looked like the shortstop Brady Short was unable to make the tag in the right area, applying it too high up on the leg of Jelani Rogers. The speedster leads off from second base, 0-1 to Brandon Fish with one out. Fish swings and fouls that one into the catcher's mitt, 0-2 now.
Yeah, Kyle, and that's not the first time that we've seen Jelani Rogers in a pickoff move, just making some noise as a base runner, and he was able to get in there at second.
Using his speed to get himself out of that pickoff scenario quickly. As Fish fouls that one straight back off the catcher's mask. We'll do it again, 0-2. Sun begins to set here in Utica. The temperature quickly dropping. Florida man is cold.
Florida man had his jacket on prior to the first game, Kyle.
Florida man left the house with his jacket on. Rogers jumping around off second base, big lead. Fish looks in at a fastball inside, just missing there. 1-2 now as the Utica faithful strongly disagreeing with that one. Nonetheless, 1-2 to the third baseman, Brandon Fish.
Yeah, that was a tight call on the inside corner, but umpire giving Fish the benefit of the doubt.
As Canino will get an inside move over second base. Shortstop, second baseman, not even covering the bag. They'll go again. 1-2 to Fish. Canino deals, and that one will plunk Fish on the hip, not even moving out of the way for an instant. 1 out, runners at first and second now. That'll bring up the first baseman, cleanup hitter Jake Scrine.
Yeah, that one didn't even garner a reaction from Fish, as he just took that one and just took his base going over to first. But 2 early base runners here for the Stallions. And now Jake Scrine going to come up.
Not a lot of velocity from the submarine pitcher. Typically what happens when you have a guy dropping his arm slot that low, trying to make up for it with some differences in angle and pitch variation, as Scrine fouls that one straight back. 0-1.
And as Brandon Fish gets on first, one of the Stallions that got hit in the last game, and Jake Scrine looking to bring him in.
Second one to Scrine, almost gets him there, brushing him off the plate, evening the count now. 1-1 with 1 out.
And Canino really struggling with his control here. Almost got Scrine, like you mentioned, on the inside.
Rogers off second, Fish off first. Scrine swings at that one, popping it over the first baseman's head. Now land in there for a base hit. Freezing on it were Rogers and Fish. Fish getting halfway there. Everybody's safe. Bases loaded now with 1 out. And that'll bring in the dangerous and red hot right fielder tonight, Garrison Berkeley.
Yeah, you mentioned that Kyle Berkeley has been rolling in his past couple of games. Had the first game off, so he's well rested now. And in his first at-bat in this one, coming in with the bases juiced.
Took the Stallions 7 innings to collect their second hit of the game, and they're able to do it real quick in this top of the first inning with only 1 out. As he looks at the first pitch from Canino for a called strike. 0-1.
And the Stallions loading the bases in back-to-back innings against Utica. Obviously, the last time they did so was in the very last inning, the 7th in Game 1.
The 0-1 to Berkeley catches that outer half for a called strike, finding himself in the hole. 0-2. Some dangerous base runners on the bases. A lot of speed, obviously, from Jelani over at third. Even more, just as much speed from Brandon Fish over at second base. The corner infielder. You wouldn't expect it out of the corner infielder, but Fish can really move, especially for a guy of his size.
Yeah, we've seen him be really aggressive on the base paths throughout the start of this season. I haven't really seen it in the past couple of games recently, but we know he can steal a bag or two here and there.
Berkeley will go down looking there. Called strike 3. 2 away now. Stepping in will be center fielder Easton Bertrand. 2 outs. Stallions loading the bases here.
You haven't seen Bertrand play center field too many times so far during the year. Now playing center in this one. He's been hot with the bat as well prior to this one.
Bertrand thought about that one, but thought better of it to take one for a ball. 1-0 in the outer half. Canino out of the stretch. Runners everywhere. The 1-0. The 1-0 swung on. Now we're even at 1-1. 2 outs.
Yeah, we mentioned Canino, not the biggest in terms of a velocity thrower. Bertrand trying to take one to the fences against this pitcher and struggled there on that one.
Canino will come set. The 1-1. And that one's fouled over the first baseline. Way out of here. 1-2. The center fielder finding himself in the hole. Rogers on third, Fish on second, and Scrine at first. And that one is rolled into the first baseman. Nobody covering it, eats him up, scoring the Stallions a run here early on. Everybody's safe. 1-0 are the Stallions.
Yeah, and we'll see what they rule that one, Kyle. It looks like they already did rule it an error on the first baseman in Rodin, as he just kind of struggled to get that one all together. Bertrand hit that one hard, but once it looked like he was able to recover, step on, and get that ball in his glove, he still had time to beat Bertrand out, but dropped it again and allowed Easton to reach on first. Stallions get their first run in this doubleheader.
Stepping in now, Garrett Michelle, who is going to be EHing tonight's second game. Pitcher in Canino caught spectating on that one, unable to help his first baseman out there. Unfortunate break for the Blue Sox as Michelle looks at the second pitch of the at-bat. Count even now, 1-1 with 2 outs. One runner already across here, 2 hits. Base is still full of Stallions. Brandon Fish on third, Jake Skrine on second, Easton Bertrand on first. Time is called in the middle of his delivery, and we will reset here, 1-1.
Yeah, and prior to today's game, Michelle, despite being a high school senior on his way to college, he's been one of the hotter hitters in the Stallions lineup, had an average towards the top on the Stallions team.
Michelle takes a big hack at that one, swinging and missing now. 1-2's the count. Two outs. The 1-2 to Michelle is in there for a called strike 3 on the inner half. Canino able to work his way out of that one before too much damage is done, but not before the Stallions are plating across their first run of the evening. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 hits, 1 error, 3 runners left on base. You're listening to Stallion Baseball from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth, brought to you in part by Benson Steel. They put stuff up you can't knock down. That Jelani Rogers stolen base, something that the Utica Blue Sox couldn't knock down as the Stallions were able to get themselves the first run of the evening. Taking a look at the Stallions lining up defensively, out in left field tonight, David Shackelford. Center field, Easton Bertrand. Out in right field, Garrison Berkeley. Over at third base, Brandon Fish. Shortstop, Evan Goforth. Second base, Brett Heckert. First base, Jake Skrine, Behind the dish, Nico Amory. And on the mound, Jack Walker, the big 6'6" lefty. What can you tell me about him, Logan?
Well, Kyle, this is going to be Walker's second appearance for the Stallions so far this year. The first one came in relief at Canton Field, so his first start coming over from Indiana University. And you mentioned his size, 6'6", one of the biggest, if not the biggest arm in this Stallions pitching staff.
Stepping in and looking at the first couple pitches of the at-bat, count even at 1-1 to Ryan Enos. As he swings through that one, 1-2 now. Fastball in the outer half, couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah, and we'll see just how long Rich Doobie, Colin Martin, they're willing to let Walker go in today's game. Didn't pitch too long in his one relief outing, and with this being his first start, it's going to be harder to ask him to go 5 innings like Alex Kenny did in the game prior for the Stallions.
It's one thing that this coaching staff is very aware of, and that's going to be pitch count and not wearing anybody out. Very, very aware of their surroundings. The 2-2 offering to Enos misses away. Count full now, 3-2. Enos from the leadoff spot in both games. Second base in the first one, now extra hitter tonight. On deck, Luke Auden playing second base. As Enos will take the free base, ball 4, and that will bring up the Utica second baseman, Luke Auden.
Yeah, not the best start for Jack Walker. Had an early lead in the count. His first count of the day, and just couldn't finish the job. Early base runner here now for Utica, and this is the first time the Stallions have had a lead in this doubleheader. Definitely don't want to lose it in the bottom half of the inning. They got the lead in.
That's right, and one big thing that we've been getting preached at, along with the players, is you can't defend the walk. They want to see guys getting themselves out. We don't need to see anybody breaking any strikeout records. Those will come. We just want to see these guys get out, and you can't defend the walk. As Auden looks at the first offering from Walker for a called strike, 0-1. Walker comes set, checks Enos at first, and that pitch is ripped into left field for a base hit. No outs. Utica threatening here with 2 runners on base. Now would bring up the designated hitter, Daedric Kale.
Yeah, and that was a hard hit ball out to that left side by Auden. Nothing that Fisher Goforth could really do on that left side of the infield, and early trouble here for the Indiana lefty.
Enos on second, Auden on first. Jack Walker gets his sign from Nico Amory. First offering to Kale is outside for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, that one was close. As Kale, he was trying to hold off his swing. He did just in time, but even still, looked like that from our vantage point may have caught the outside corner.
A lot of velo and a downhill thrower from that 6'5" frame. Very tough to pick up the baseball from a guy like that. 1-1 as Kale swings through that second pitch fastball in a very similar spot as the first offering.
Yeah, that one maybe just a bit more outside, but Kale unable to hold his swing off on that one.
Walker checks Enos at second. The 1-1 to Kale is swung right through for a strike. 1-2 now to the designated hitter. No outs. Runners at first and second for Utica. The 1-2. And that breaking ball will bounce right off the arm of Amory. Runners will be able to move up 90 feet, putting them both in scoring position. Could be ruled either way. I think that was more of a pass ball to me, as Amory definitely had an opportunity to field that one.
Yeah, and he did for sure. And Amory coming in for this second game, a catcher for Mason Speaker, mostly due to what he provides on the defensive side of things at the catcher spot, and he definitely had the opportunity there to stop that one before it got behind him. Unable to do so, and both runners advanced 90 feet.
2-2. Runners get their leads from second and third. And that one misses outside for a ball, 3-2. Walker consistently throwing into that left-handed batter's box, unable to finish his pitches early on here. You'd like to see him be able to get around those a little bit more and finish. 3-2 to the designated hitter, Kale. That one is in there for a called strike 3 on the outer black, finding just a smidge of that plate. What a great pitch from Walker, getting the Stallions their first out of the inning, bringing in the first baseman, Dewey Roden. Dewey Roden, the first baseman.
Yeah, Walker needed that strikeout. He was able to just get that call on the outside corner and finally able to get his first out of the day, and that's going to be a huge confidence booster moving forward for sure as he faces cleanup hitter in Roden.
1 out. Enos on third, Auden on second. First offering, lefty on lefty, as he half swings, half tries to check on that first pitch breaking ball in the dirt. 0-1 to the first baseman, Roden. It'll be back-to-back lefty matchups for Walker. Be interesting to see how he goes and attacks these guys. Walker comes set. The 0-1 is bounced straight up the middle, and he'll catch Enos going home without any ideas. The rundown, Amory throws it to Fish covering third. The pitcher now has it, and he'll run the base runner all the way back, tagging both of them, unsure of which one to call out. And Enos will step off and head towards the dugout. The fielder's choice giving the Stallions a second out. Some poor base running from Enos there. That'll get Roden all the way up to second base as he was heads up and able to switch places with Auden. A lot of confusion, a lot of baseball right there. Just for that second out, that'll bring up the right fielder, Ryan Macca.
Yeah, that's just poor base running right there from Enos. You saw that ball go straight to Walker on the high hop. Initially thought he could beat that one out, but Walker, we know how hard he can throw. He's able to get there quickly and kind of force that rundown. Could have ended a lot quicker than it started, as Auden didn't really feel much pressure to move off of the third base bag, and that allowed Roden to advance to second base. But nonetheless, that's basically a free out for the Stallions.
Macca looks at the first pitch he sees for a called strike, 0-1. Very dangerous when you get into that rundown and your pitcher has the ball in his hands. As Walker spikes that one in the dirt, a run saved thanks to the shoulder pad of the home plate umpire. Stallions very lucky there. Count even now, 1-1 to the Utica right fielder.
And Amory was able to catch up to that one pretty quickly off to his left side and force that third base runner to stay right where he is.
Roden on second, Auden off third. 2 outs, 1-1. Check swing, doesn't matter, says the home plate umpire. Called strike 2, 1-2 now.
Yeah, Walker's just loving that outside edge. He's attacking it early. He's been attacking it that entire first inning, and the umpire's just been giving him the call.
Lefty on lefty, 1-2. That one is ripped up the third baseline for a foul ball. We'll try it again here, 1-2. Second and third. The 1-2. Just missing upstairs to the right fielder. Bring the count even now, 2-2. Deuces are wild, as John would like to say.
I think that's my line, but either way.
2-2 is swung on and missed. And that is a great bounce back there from the big, tall lefty, Jack Walker. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We move now to the top of the second inning. Your Stallions leading 1-0. You're listening to Stallion Baseball from the Ulster Savings Traveling Broadcast Booth. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. We head now to the top of the second, brought to you by Jolly Cow, because everybody loves ice cream. For the Stallions, we have 8, 9, 10 starting off with the left fielder, David Shackelford.
And Shackelford got the first game off, but we've talked about his hot streak on countless broadcasts. Last game in Canton Field had one of the 2 triples hit during that win over Mohawk Valley.
Shaq swings at the first pitch he sees, fouling that one up over the third base press box. 0-1 count now to the Stallion left fielder. And he was one of those guys that we talked about yesterday, being very upset that the game in Mohawk was getting canceled. As much fun as this entire lineup has been to see the last 7 or so games, Shaq has been red hot, and you don't want a guy like that to have to sit on an off day and a rain delay day. You want to get that bat swinging and swinging often, as he finds himself in the 0-2 hole. Alex Canino on the mound for Utica for his second inning of work. 0-2 is bounced over to first base. Having trouble over there is Dewey Roden, but he's able to corral that one, retiring Shackelford. 1 out now, stepping in the second baseman, Brett Heckert.
Yeah, we saw Roden have some trouble on a ball hit by Easton Bertrand in the last inning as well, but unable to recover that one, and this time it'll make up for his mistake in the first inning, as he's able to recover rather quickly, pick up the ball, run on to first, get the first out for the Blue Sox here.
First pitch from Canino is popped up, and that'll get out of play. Saved by some gusting winds is Brett Heckert. Canino, the 3/4 to half arm slot, is going to be a very interesting approach for this Stallion team. Most of the time when it's a righty on righty and it's a guy like that, you're going to want to just try and hit the ball over to that right field side and just try and go with the pitch as it tails away from you.
Yeah, this was the first time they faced a low-velocity pitcher. They faced a Submariner a couple days ago and struggled then.
Heckert hits that one hard in the hole of shortstop. Diving effort from short, and that throw is just in time. Heckert can't believe it, neither can we. Tough break for the Stallion second baseman, as he seemed to beat that one by about half a step. Nonetheless, the catcher, Nico Amory, steps in with 2 away.
Yeah, and that one was a bang-bang play. You said it yourself, Kyle, and it looked like Heckert could have definitely beaten that one out, but either way, what a stop out in shortstop by Short, and quickly going to be 2 outs.
Short was certainly rewarded there heavily with his efforts, regardless of whether or not he got Heckert. It was still a great effort from the shortstop. 1-0 to Nico Amory with 2 away. Second pitch to Amory misses for a ball. Finds himself in a hitter's count now, 2-0.
And Amory's another guy who had the first game off. Mason Speaker was starting behind the backstop for the Stallions, so now well rested. We'll see what he can do here on the offensive side. We already saw him on the defensive side making some plays.
That pitch misses at the letters, bring the count to 3-0 now to the Stallion catcher. Amory, another one of those guys who is a lot of speed from a traditionally slow position defensively, as he'll look at the 4th offering. 4 straight balls from Canino, giving the Stallions a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, top of the order designated hitter, Jelani Rogers.
Yeah, and Amory's had one of the better eyes on this Stallion team, and he had a great at-bat there against Canino, and going to bring up Jelani Rogers, who legged out that infield singles last time up.
That was a great bunt from Jelani to start this game off, able to get the Stallions a first runner, first hit, first score of the game, as well as he looks at the first pitch from Canino for a called strike, 0-1.
Yeah, and we really haven't seen those drag bunt type plays from the Stallions throughout the games they've played. That might have been their first one on the year, and it comes in this first at bat.
Canino checks the runner in Amory right there. Nothing doing as he dives back in there safely. Gets a 2-step lead off first base. 0-1. And that one in on the hands, just missing that Evo Shield elbow guard of Rogers. Bring the count even now, 1-1. Jelani recently announcing his commitment and transfer to Santa Fe over in Gainesville, Santa Fe Saints. Myself and head coach Colin Martin, products of the junior college. Go Saints. Canino will throw over to first base, checking on Amory again. Nothing doing there.
Yeah, and we knew that Rogers was in the transfer portal prior to the start of the season, and he had really mentioned that he wanted to stay in the state of Florida as he came over from Florida Gulf Coast University, and now going to Santa Fe, going to get the opportunity to do that here following the end of the season.
And that'll be really nice for him, getting a huge weight off his shoulders, finding a program that he's comfortable in. The 1-2 misses outside, even the count now 2-2 with 2 outs.
Yeah, there are a few other guys on this Stallion team that find themselves in the transfer portal as well. Jake Scrine is in it as well. He's transport from Indiana. There are a few of those guys that can't wait to really feel that sigh of relief once they leave.
2-2's bounced over to the third baseman. Just barely getting the speedster is Troy Hamilton over at third base. No runs, no hits, no errors, a runner left on. We move now to the bottom of the second inning. Your Stallions lead 1-0. This is the Ulster Savings broadcast booth, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. We are now in the home half of the second inning. Jack Walker is still on the mound for your Stallions on his second inning of work. And this second inning brought to you by Mike Yonta, Custom Masonry and Excavation, and by Peak Trading. Need it lifted up or tied down? Peak Trading has the supplies. Stepping in and leading off will be the 6-hitter, left fielder Lucas Schramm, followed by the third baseman Troy Hamilton. And following him, the shortstop Brady Short, who made that great play to nab Brett Hecker of a base hit.
Yeah, Kyle, last inning we were talking about Stallions in the portal, and it completely escaped my mind that one of the other guys in the portal is the starting pitcher for the Stallions today, and Jack Walker, also from Indiana.
First pitch is swung at and ripped up the first baseline, kicking just foul. And yeah, that's definitely on us. He can't really get no way around it, you know. He's on the mound, he's right in front of us, and we have just clueless up here.
Well,
apparently.
at that time he wasn't around.
Fair. However, we got to dock ourselves a point there, I think.
Yes, we do.
0-1, Walker elects to go out of the windup. Schramm swings at the second pitch he sees. Hecker with an incredible grab over the shoulder in shallow right center field, robbing Schramm of a leadoff single. Wow, what a fantastic effort from Brett Heckert out there in second base.
Unbelievable. Heckard had to run a country mile out to the outfield to make that grab and able to do so. And as a defensive play, retired him in the top half of the inning, able to get some revenge in the bottom half.
Baseball gods have spoken. What goes around comes around in this game. Great effort there, stealing a hit from the Blue Sox. The first offering to Hamilton is popped up into shallow center field, and Goforth unable to make the impressive over-the-shoulder throw into second, and they got him. What a great heads-up play from Shackelford, picking the ball up and picking up his shortstop. What a fantastic effort there, robbing another base runner from the Blue Sox. 2 away now as the Stallion defense just continues to try and one-up themselves.
Kyle, that is what you call an incredibly rare 7-4.
7-4.
What a throw from Shackelford out and left. It was almost a great catch by Evan Goforth out in shortstop. Unable to make the grab, but what are you doing if you're Hamilton running over to second? It was the ball was in shallow left field, and Shackelford's got a cannon on him.
Shaq does, in fact, not the biggest frame, but a huge arm and a powerful bat. Fantastic way to pick your guy up. 1-0 to the shortstop in Brady Short. And you mentioned it, Goforth was millimeters away from making just one-upping Heckert with an incredible grab. That ball just over his shoulder, bouncing right out of the mitt. The 1-0 in on the hands, crawling up the ladder, 2-0 now as it barely misses the shortstop.
Yeah, and it really wasn't on Goforth, just the ball falling out of his glove. That was a tough play to make, and the fact that Goforth almost made that in itself was incredible.
The 2-0. That misses low here for a ball, 3-0. Walker struggling to find the strike zone to the 8-hitter. The 3-0. In there for a called strike. Short was already about halfway up that first baseline mentally as he wanted to fling that bat over to the on-deck circle. Unfortunate for him, fortunate for the Stallions. 3-1 as he still finds himself in a good hitter's count here. Lefty on lefty matchup. Walker gets his sign from Amory. The 3-1 swung through, bring the count full now, 3-2. The 3-2 from Walker is fouled up and straight back over the bleachers. We'll do it again, 3-2.
Yeah, there have been 2 defensive plays made behind Walker, but this inning's gone significantly better for him in this second compared to the first. He's 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning, although it hasn't been the cleanest in the world, and it's just a way to get him back on track for Walker.
Very untraditional, as that one is swung through and missed for strike 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, no runners left on base. We move to the 3rd inning now from Utica. You're listening to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth and Stallion Baseball. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. We're in the third inning now, brought to you by F. Rose Orthodontics, smile provider for the Stallions. Leading off will be the shortstop, Evan Goforth. Goforth lined out to the shortstop his first time around, hitting that ball nice and hard, but last game providing some strong hitting with that double in the seventh inning that came to no avail as he swings at the first pitch he sees. Base hit now for the Stallions. Runner on. See claps going up first baseline to that dugout, letting them know whatever he was told, that was in fact right, and go with whatever everybody's relaying. That'll bring up the third baseman, Brandon Fish.
Yeah, and Goforth was selected as kind of something we do at Cantine Field, the K-Man, to get some free tacos, and he did convert in the first game, but so far, 1 for 2 with 2 hard hit balls.
And the first pitch that Fish sees is ripped into center field for a base hit. Goforth will be held up at second base. Runners threatening here as the Stallions get something going. That'll bring up the 4-hole first baseman, Jake Scrine.
And we talked about the low velocity that Canino brings to this Utica team, and first time around was kind of an adjustment for all the Stallions in the lineup, but second time around, it seems that these Stallions are really getting on Canino as first pitch swinging, both Goforth and Fish hitting hard hit liners out into the outfield.
Canino will have to figure some things out, maybe take a different approach to the next few hitters that he sees. Dangerous Jake Scrine stepping in. First pitch he sees is a ball at the letters, 1-0.
And Scrine singled in his first at-bat as well, so he's already 1 for 1 against Canino.
Canino checks the runner and Goforth, comes set. And that one is grounded over to third. 5, 4, 3. Nope, he's safe at first base as the throw pulls him off the bag. Stallions get themselves a break there. Fish called out at second. Scrine able to make it up to first base. 1 out. Time is called, and the umpires will have a quick conversation about that last play.
Yeah, and that's really a tough call, as it looked like the first baseman in Roden was able to stay on first, and they will officially rule him safe, so he was off the bag, but from our vantage point, it didn't really look like he was off first base bag, at least not by too far.
The issue I have with that is he was pulled off the bag towards right field, so the only of the two guys that actually has an angle at it would be the infield umpire in between second base and the pitcher's mound. So there's really no conversation to be had with the home plate umpire, as he has no angle of what just happened there. Nonetheless, runners at the corners with 1 out, stepping in Garrison Berkeley. First offering is swung at and missed for a strike.
Yeah, and this could be the second time that Berkeley's hitting with runners in scoring position. Berkeley batted with the bases loaded his last time up, but struck out looking. Now looking for better success here with runners on the corners this time around.
The 0-1 to Berkeley is fouled straight back, finding himself in an 0-2 hole.
And Berkeley at 2 strikes, 2 hard swings that he just couldn't find the timing to. Now in a quick 0-2 hole.
1 out, Evan Goforth on third, Jake Scrine on first. The 0-2 to Berkeley misses outside for a ball, 1-2 now.
Yeah, and Berkeley was tempted on that outside breaking ball from Canino. Was just able to hold back just in time to keep himself in the at-bat.
Canino comes set. He'll throw over to first base. Scrine able to get back easily without a dive. 1-2 to the Stallion right fielders. We'll try this again.
Yeah, and Scrine not the biggest threat to steal a bag in the world. One of the slower guys on this Stallion lineup. Haven't really seen him be too aggressive so far this year.
Berkeley looks at that one, evening the count now 2-2. Going into this one, Berkeley is finding himself a little bit of a groove. 333 on the year with 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 doubles. The 2-2 misses well wide here, bring the count full now, 3-2. Curious as to if third base coach Alex Cray elects to send the runner Jake Scrine off first base to try and disrupt that double play. with one out here.
And the Stallions weren't too aggressive on the base paths during the first game. That's really because they didn't have the chance. They weren't on base too much.
And that pitch is ripped into left field for a base hit. Scoring go forth is Berkeley, giving the Stallions the 2-0 lead there. Scrine will move up 90 feet. He's on second. Berkeley on first. Stepping in now, center fielder Easton Bertrand. 2-0 are the Stallions.
That was hard hit by Garrison Berkeley, and just a great at-bat, able to battle back from down 0-2 to extend the Stallions' lead, double Stallions' lead, and now they're rolling. Easton Bertrand with a chance for his second RBI of the day.
Bertrand swings at the first offering from Canino. That's popped into foul territory. The third baseman will come on and make the running grab. Nice play over there by Troy Hamilton to steal one away from the Stallions. That'll bring up with 2 outs now. Extra hitter tonight, Garrett Michelle.
Yeah, definitely not ideal for the Stallions as Bertrand going first pitch swing, which had been successful for the Stallions prior to this point, but just unable to keep that one in play, and a quick out on that foul ball for the Stallions. Now Garrett Michelle up for his second time around.
Now in there for a called strike, 0-1.
Michelle also struck out looking at his last at-bat. Had the bases loaded as well.
Michelle, we talk about it, one of the youngest players on this roster, but one of the most mature baseball players that we see. Always has a great approach. In the batting cages a few days ago, they were telling me, Garrett specifically, that he talked over a couple of different things, and once he figured out a different sort of swing mentality, swing approach, not even necessarily anything mechanical, just a mental change in ideology, and he has been red hot ever since. 1-1 is fouled into the catcher's mitt, 1-2, as the home plate umpire will give the catcher, Cade Reinerston, a second to gather himself, as that one clipped a little bit of his arm, it looked like. 1-2 to the lefty. 1 run already across here for the Stallions. Jake Scrine on second base. Garrison Berkeley on first after that RBI single that scored Evan Goforth, who started the inning off with a leadoff single. The 1-2 is a fastball that misses outside. Bring the count even now, 2-2. Canino comes set, gets his sign from Ryerson. The 2-2 is flown out to center field. Brenner is there. Left center goes the ball with the wind, and he'll be able to make the catch, making that one look a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. That'll do it for this half of the inning. Stallions get something going. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We move to the home half of the third inning from Utica. Your Stallions lead 2-0. This is the Ulster Savings broadcast booth, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Ulster Savings Traveling Broadcast booth. We are now into the bottom of the third, brought to you by Rich Vizzini, Wolf of Woodstock Real Estate, working harder for you. And by Rip Van Winkle Country Club, bring your swing to the Rip. We now start off this home half of the third with the 9-hitter, Cade Reinerston, the Utica catcher. Jack Walker on the mound for his third inning of work here. First offering is outside for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, Kyle, and we talked about just how long Walker would be in there for his first start of the season. Looks like it's going to be a little while longer. Both bullpens have remained dead silent here in midway through the third.
Second offering to the catcher, misses for a ball. Walker finds himself in a 2-0 hole here. 2-0. Checked on, doesn't matter, says the umpire. That's a called strike, 2-1.
And that velocity just has not wavered yet during this third inning. He's hitting that same spot in the outside edge, same speed as before in the first.
2-1 breaks the bat as that bounces over to third baseman Fish, cutting off Goforth. Throw on to first in time, 1 away here. Nice defensive play there, showing a little bit of the range. Third baseman Brandon Fish cutting across. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Easton Brenner.
Yeah, and Fish been one of the more sure-handed fielders for this Stallion team. Doesn't make too many mistakes out in third base. He's played at that position for almost every single game that he's played, and he has just provided that consistent gloves. Made a few web jams, made a few diving plays out there earlier in the season.
First pitch swinging here as he fouls that one off, 0-1.
Yeah, and Brenner saw Jelani Rogers, what he did in the first, able to get himself on via the drag bunt, trying the exact same thing there. It was tapped beautifully, just not in the right direction.
Not in the right direction indeed, as that'll go down as a first pitch strike. Walker gets a sign from Amory. The 0-1. In on the hands for a ball, evening the count now, 1-1.
And that Stallion's infield just playing at normal depth, not really protecting against the bunt even after that first swing. So we'll see if Brenner tries to lay one down again.
1-1 misses high here to the Utica center fielder. Speaking of which, both center fielders first named Easton. Little fun fact for you right there. The 2-1 misses again on the hands for a ball, bringing the count now 3-1 to the 10-hitter.
There have been a few times this year where the leadoff hitter for both sides was last name Rogers. So we've had a few of these name scenarios throughout the year.
Very interesting. Rogers, granted, is a much more commonplace name than Easton. The 3-1 is in there on the outer half for a called strike, bringing the count now full 3-2. 1 out. Stallions lead 2-0. Jack Walker on the bump. 3-2 is in the dirt. Ball 4 now, as Brenner will take the free 90 up to first base, and that'll bring up the top of the order, Ryan Enos.
Number 2, Ryan Enos.
Yeah, and first time around the lineup, Walker only allowing 2 walks during those first 3 innings. One right there to Brenner, and the other person to walk was Enos to lead off the bottom of the first for Utica.
Walker checks the runner over at first. The first pitch that Enos sees swung through and missed. Little early on that one, 0-1. Enos, if you remember, got caught napping on that third baseline, got in that runner on. As there goes the runner, it's a hit and run as that one is flown out to deep left field over Shackelford's head. The runner will score easily from first base, as Enos will get in there with a stand-up RBI double, giving Utica their first run of the evening.
Yeah, and that was just a poor read by Shackelford. Thought he had that one lined up out in left field and just realized a little too late that he lost that one. It was a little deeper than he thought it would, and that allowed the runner in Brenner to score rather easily. and that is the first extra base hit for Utica in this one.
That'll bring up the second baseman, Luke Auden. First offering misses away to Auden for a ball, 1-0. Walker comes set. That one in the dirt for a ball. 2-0 now to the Blue Sox second baseman.
And last game, we didn't have any runs scored for either side until the fourth inning, bottom of the fourth inning. Now we're not even through this third inning of play. We've already had 3 combined runs in this one.
Walker hoping to keep it at a 2-1 game. 2-0 in there for called strike just over the heart of the plate there. 2-1 now to the Blue Sox second baseman.
And that Stallion bullpen still remains quiet despite that walk-in double so far in this inning. So Walker at least going to get the chance to finish this one out.
Walker comes set. The 2-1 is bounced over second baseman Brett Heckert, and he will throw on to first to make the play. Enos able to move up 90 feet. He's on third base now with 2 away. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Daedric Kale.
And that was played nicely out at second by Brett Heckert. That was a high chopper, but able to quickly get that one down, send it on to first. Big out there for Jack Walker.
Ryan Enos, the extra hitter over on third base. Kale swings at the first pitch he sees, blooping into shallow right field. In on it is Berkeley. He will make the catch, and that'll retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on. Stallions still lead here in Utica, 2-1. We move now to the 4th inning. We're listening to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth, giving you all the Saugerties Stallion baseball that you can handle. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Ulster Savings traveling broadcast booth. Leading off for your Stallions left fielder, David Shackelford.
And Shackelford looking to make up for that defensive miscue in the bottom half of the third inning. Just misplayed that fly ball, which ended up being a double for Emis.
Apologies if you heard that sneeze. That was definitely not anybody on this broadcast. Certainly nobody named Kyle. Nonetheless, we head into the first pitch to Shackelford, and that will be a called strike 0-1 on the outside corner.
Yeah, Kyle's a little packed on this top bleacher where we're broadcasting from. Could have been anybody on that sneeze.
A lot of people, a lot of wind. There's a lot of pollen in the air. Bless whoever that was. Bless you. 0-1. Shaq rips that one up the third baseline. Foul, finding himself in an 0-2 hole. Canino still on the mound for the Blue Sox for his 4th inning of work. Already 2 earned and 5 hits in this one. Curious as to just how much of a leash he has here tonight, as the only action in that Utica bullpen doesn't look baseball related. That one is bounced over to the third baseman, Hamilton. He'll come up firing, and that'll retire Shackelford. 1 out now, as the second baseman, Brett Heckert, will step in.
I'm not sure really what's going on in that Utica bullpen. They've just kind of been bouncing around the entire game. Not a lot of warming up in there when it comes to throwing a baseball sense.
Not baseball warming up. They might just be doing things to keep themselves warm. I don't blame them.
Could just be playing some fun games.
First pitch to Heckert in there for called strike 0-1. You talk about fun games. This is the most fun game you can play right here, baseball. The 0-1 outside for a ball, as Reinerson did everything in his power to frame that one up. Unfortunately, that was well outside. 1-1 now to the Stallion second baseman. That one finds the outer black for a called strike 2. Heckert finding himself in a hole here.
Yeah, and Heckert got, some would say, robbed in his last at-bat on that play from the shortstop in short.
Heckert will swing through that one. Stallions 2 outs now. Stepping in is the catcher, Nico Amory. Amory got on base via the 4-pitch walk last inning, unable to do anything after that. Stallions hoping that this at-bat leads to more runs. First pitch he sees is in there for a called strike, 0-1.
Yeah, and the only action for the Stallions back in that second inning where Amory batted was his walk. The other 3 batters to come to the plate didn't hit the ball past the outfield.
Amory turns on that one, fouling it up the third baseline and into the fence, giving him the 0-2 hole. Nobody on. Stallions down to their last strike of this top of the 4th inning. Reminder to all you fans at home, this is game 2 of a 7-inning doubleheader series, as Amory almost gets clipped with that 0-2 offering from Canino. 1-2 now to the Stallion catcher.
This is the second time the Stallions have been involved in a doubleheader this year. The other time they were able to sweep Oneonta. Had 2 walk-offs in one day in that doubleheader.
That was a lot of really fun baseball to watch right there. Very nerve-wracking stuff. Amory looks at that off-speed pitch inside on the hands, 2-2 now. He swings at that offering from Canino, popping it up to the first baseman. Under it is Rodin, and he'll take care of that one. Stallions go down in order here in the top of the 4th. We move to the home half of the 4th inning. Your Stallions lead 2-1. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball here in cloudy, windy, overcast Utica, New York. Speaking of the wind, I just almost lost that ad sheet. Brought to you by a favorable gust and by iMedView Inc. Independent medical review, world-class results, local connections. Leading off for the Utica Blue Sox will be that first baseman, the left-hander, Dewey Roden.
Yeah, that wind not being too kind to you right there, Kyle.
That certainly woke me up, checked my reactions. Very grateful there, as I'm borrowing John's ad sheet tonight. He would not have been very happy with me if I lost this one to the Utica Winds. Nonetheless, I'm part of the State Farm All Hands team. We move into the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-1 is your score. Stallions lead. Jack Walker still on the mound for your Stallions. First pitch, Roden sees is lined into left center field. In on his Bertrand, and he dives and is unable to make the play. Able to come up quickly, firing it into second base, keeping Roden over there at first base. Great effort there from Bertrand. Unfortunate for him and the Stallions. We have a leadoff single. That'll bring up the right fielder, Ryan Maka.
Yeah, normally when you try and dive in a ball like that, that'll at least make you give up a few more bases, but Bertrand was able to get up rather quickly and force a throw back into the infield to keep Roden right where he was at first. And the way Bertrand was diving, you wouldn't tell that he's just coming off concussion a couple weeks ago.
He's a very much nose over the baseball, gritty kind of player. First pitch to the right fielder, in there for a called strike. Walker comes set, misses low and away here to the lefty.
Now we're starting to see some action in that Stallions bullpen. It's tough to really tell who was warming up before, but I guess the action kind of can see it stop there.
We'll keep you posted. Once we know, you'll know. 2-1 now as Walker misses on consecutive pitches there. Bertrand playing over towards the left center field alleyway. Shaq playing pretty much straight up, maybe covering the line a little bit more. Berkeley playing way off that right field line. Interesting setup as they're playing for the late contact from all these lefties. 2-2. That one is a little bit of chin music, bringing the count full now, 3-2.
You know, Kyle, I'm not sure how many doubleheaders you've been to, whether it's pros or in this league itself, but this might be the first time in a doubleheader where I've seen less fans at Game 2 than Game 1.
3-2 misses away here for a ball. Walker struggling here in his fourth inning of work. You said it. It was a very interesting atmosphere towards the end of the first game. It seemed like the stands were filling up, like everyone was getting ready for the second game. And then all of a sudden, you look down and it's just bare bones from this Utica crowd. It's very, very strange, very odd behavior. Nonetheless, we're here for some baseball. Following that no out walk, that'll bring the left fielder up, Luke Schramm, who swings at the first pitch he sees, fouling it straight back into the netting. Runners threatening here, first and second. Roden on second. Maka on first. No outs. The 0-1. And that misses low and away for a ball, 1-1 now.
And Schramm was retired his last time up on that amazing play from Brett Heckert out in second base. His last at-bat, so looking for better luck here in this time.
The 1-1, and that misses high for a ball, 2-1. Outfield remains in those positions I mentioned earlier. Bertrand very much shaded in that left center field gap. And that one is offered at, but field umpire says no, he did not. 3-1 now to the Blue Sox left fielder. Walker will take a deep breath, get his sign from Amory, checks the runner in Roden, and he'll spin over and double check him. No throw. We'll reset here, 3-1, no outs. 3-1 is swung at and missed. Bring the count now full 3-2. Big pitch right here. Walker hoping to avoid the bases loaded, no out, free pass. Schramm looking to tie this one up. 3-2, not close there. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded, no outs. Time will be called as Colin Martin will head out to the mound. Who is going to replace Walker? You'll find out right after this quick break. Ulster Savings broadcast. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball. That call to the bullpen was brought to you by Dallas Hot Wieners, bringing the hot sauce out of the pen. Taking over on the mound, James Riley. Not his first appearance for the Stallions, inheriting 3 base runners here, courtesy of the Jack Walker walk and base hits. What can you tell me about Riley so far in this season, Logan?
Well, Riley's definitely gotten better as the year's gone along. We first met him in the first game at Albany, and he did pretty well for himself. He's had a few long relief appearances, and now going to come in into probably the worst spot a reliever can be put in, bases loaded, no outs.
That'll bring up the third baseman, Troy Hamilton, looking at the first offering from Riley. Ball 1, 1-0. That one is flown straight up to the first baseman, Jake Scrine, in the back of the infield, and he'll make the play. Big out there. Nice pitch from Riley, getting himself 1 out, giving him a huge opportunity to get out of this one unscathed. And that'll bring up the shortstop. The shortstop, Brady Short.
Yeah, coming out of the bullpen, that's the exact first out you want in this kind of situation. Forcing a pop-up, forcing the infield fly rule to get that first out, now forcing that double play situation. You still have that force at any base situation here. Just trying to keep that 1-run lead.
Fish playing even with the bag at third, Scrine behind the runner. Middle infield double play depth. The first offering to the shortstop misses for a ball, 1-0. You see the outfield playing a little bit differently. Bertrand still electing to stay on that shortstop side of second base. Berkeley in very shallow in right field. Shackelford a little bit deeper, but not too deep. Neither one playing the line very much at all. Bases loaded, 1 out. 2-0 count to the Utica shortstop. 2-1 is your score here. Stallions still lead. James Riley. The offering is fouled straight back into the netting, 2-1.
Yeah, Riley not a big strikeout thrower so far this season. He's been a pitch-to-contact guy. So we'll see if he can keep one on the infield here, kind of force that double play to end the inning.
Absolutely, a ground ball gets you out of this one. The 2-1 to short. That one fouled straight back. Bring the count even now, 2-2.
Yeah, and pitching into the same location in that as that last pitch, and now getting short in that 2-strike count.
Seven Nation Army blaring through the PA system here, trying to get the home crowd few and far between, but trying to get them going. 2-2, 1 out, bases loaded. Roden on third, Maka on second, Schramm on first. Short at the dish. 2-2 is swung through and missed. A huge strikeout from Riley there, bringing Utica their second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the catcher, Cade Reinerston.
What an out for James Riley, and what a pitch on that breaking ball to get short swinging for the second time in this game. And now Riley this close to bailing out Jack Walker and keeping the Stallions lead at 1.
Wide open stance is the catcher. He offers at that one haphazardly. Strike one, 0-1. First pitch breaking ball caught the catcher off guard and off balance. Riley out of the stretch, comes set, gets his sign from Amory. The 0-1. In there for a called strike on the hands, 0-2, as Reinertson quickly finds himself in a deep hole.
Yeah, that was a generous call. That one may have been too far inside from Riley, but nonetheless, in a second consecutive 2-strike count.
A huge spot here for the Stallions. The 0-2. That offered at, not offered at enough. 1-2 to the 9 hitter.
And Reinertson just able to hold up there. That one really could have gone either way, but Riley forced to throw another pitch.
The kick delivers and fouled up the third baseline. We'll try it again, 1-2. Reinertson takes a second to gather his thoughts. That one might have clipped a little bit of shoe there. Seems to be grimacing slightly, taking his sweet time, gathering his thoughts. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 1-2 is your count. Reinertson steps back into the box, ready to go. Riley checks his battery made for the signs, gets what he likes to see. The 1-2. In the dirt, blocking it on 2 knees is Amory, preserving that runner at third. Count even now, 2-2.
Yeah, nice slide there by Amory, moving over to his right side to keep that runner in Roden right where he is at third. Not the fastest runner the first baseman is, but still a nice slide nonetheless by the Stallions catcher.
Time is called at the plate as the PA continues to blast some tunes in our ears. Count even now, 2-2. And that one is fouled straight back. Reinertson refusing to go down without a fight here as he continues to stay alive.
As the PA system plays this song, and this has been a long at-bat between Riley and Reinertson, just when it seemed like Riley had his way early on. Reinertson just not willing to give up.
The Stallions biting their nails here, full of anxiety. The 2-2. That one is bounced on the ground just out in front of home plate. Amory will pick it up and casually step on home plate, retiring the side. James Riley, a fantastic outing right there. Bases loaded, no outs, retiring the first 3 batters that he sees in order, preserving that 2-1 Stallion lead. You're listening to Stallion Baseball, Ulster Savings broadcast booth. We head now to the 5th inning here in Utica. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball. Action in both bullpens here in Utica. The Stallions able to work themselves out of a no-out, bases-loaded jam thanks to some courageous pitching from James Riley. Getting the first batter he saw to pop up to the first baseman, second batter to strike out, and the third one, chopper right in front of his battery mate Nico Amory, who's able to just step on home plate and move on. Now in the top of the 5th inning, starting off for your Stallions to the top of the order, Jelani Rogers, followed by Evan Goforth, and in the 3-hole, Brandon Fish.
Yeah, Kyle, we've seen some good pitching performances throughout the year, but that one may have been the clutchest for any Stallion so far this year. Bases loaded, no outs. James Riley able to get a pop-up strikeout and a ground out right to the catcher to keep the Stallions' lead right where it is. And there haven't really been any better innings from any other Stallion, and that saves what was already a pretty good performance from Jack Walker, the starter in this one. Now the Stallions with a chance to add on some more runs here.
Great performance out of Jack Walker. Just found a little bit of trouble towards the tail end of his pitch count. A little bit tired arm maybe. Nonetheless, gets picked up huge from James Riley. Fantastic from the right-hander. Rogers swings at the first pitch from Canino, who gets out on the mound for his 5th inning of work here. Rogers squares around, tried to pull it back. Umpire says he did not. 0-2 is your count.
We've seen that before from Rogers. That's how he got on back in the first via a bunt single. This time trying the same thing, but the other way over to the right. Didn't really see too much success as he missed it on the swing.
0-2 to Rogers, is bounced into that 6-hole. A great diving effort from Hamilton, but the speedster Jelani Rogers will never be thrown out from that one. Great effort nonetheless from the third baseman, leaving his feet. That gives the Stallions a leadoff hitter on base for the shortstop, Evan Goforth.
Courtesy of Taco Bell.
And Jelani Rogers never going to be thrown out on a play like that with the infielder already on the ground. We've already seen just how fast he can be both on the base paths and legging out a ball. He's already on the run.
Runner goes, and nobody's at second. Rogers makes the turn over there, and he will get in there to third base. Stand up. Fantastic piece of baseball right there. Goforth came around to square. The infield came crashing. Second base and shortstop, no communication there, covering both sides of the diamond except for second base, where Rogers was able to easily make it there. Errant throw all the way to center field, makes the turn into third base easily. The infield is now in, no outs, 1-0 count to the Stallion shortstop.
No clue what Reinerton was doing there. There was no one near the second base bag when he pumped up to throw, and no one was even running towards that ball, as Jelani Rogers easily was able to leg it out to third once he saw that no one was there to kind of back him up.
Second offering to Goforth misses 2-0. Swinging and fouling it straight back is Goforth, 2-1. And you really can't fault the catcher Reinerston, as he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I'd certainly put most of my blame towards the shortstop and second baseman. Maybe even these guys not going over their bunt plays with a runner on first. You know, that can definitely happen as well. Nonetheless, Stallions get a huge break. 2-1 is popped up into foul territory. Rodin calls off the catcher. He will make the catch there. Very unfortunate as the Stallions don't get anything there. Nonetheless, we move on to the third baseman, left-handed hitting Brandon Fish.
Yeah, and we just saw what happened in the last half inning with the Blue Sox. You don't want to be in the same situation here if you're the Stallions. You have a runner on 90 feet away from scoring, and you were in a scenario where there was no outs, and now you don't want to be in that same spot that Utica was where you weren't able to convert.
Infield still in. Fish jumps on the first pitch he sees, fouling it up the first baseline. Just a little anxious on that one. Just 2 out in front. Infield still in here. Outfield playing. Looks like the corner outfielders are playing in. Fish sends that one into deep right center field. Back goes the right fielder, and that one will fall in for an RBI double from Fish. He'll get in there standing up, and so will Jelani Rogers, giving the Stallions the 3-1 lead here in the 5th inning. Wow, great piece of hitting there from the Stallion third baseman.
And off the bat, it sounded like it could be a little farther and a little bit of better result than a double, but I'm sure Fish is going to take the RBI just fine, as now the Stallions able to get a little insurance here in that top of the 5th. Now they're up by 2, and they still run a right in scoring position.
And that'll bring up the dangerous 4-hitter, first baseman Jake Skrine. He swings at the first pitch he sees, flying it out to the right fielder. Behind it is Maka. He'll make the play. Too shallow for Fish to tag up. 2 outs now with the runner in scoring position. Garrison Berkeley will take his opportunity here.
Yeah, and Skrine's been really aggressive today, swinging early in the counts, and hasn't seen too much success when doing so, as first pitch flying out to shallow right field and putting Garrison Berkeley in a chance to hit with 2 outs. He already hit with 2 outs in a runner in scoring position, didn't come up in the clutch striking out, but he was able to single his last time around.
Canino still on the mound here. 2 outs. Fish getting a bouncing lead off second, and that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Seven hits to 4 hits are your Stallions. Utica 2 errors already on the night. The 1-0 is flown to straightaway center field. Center fielder comes crashing in on it as the wind caught that one up. Easton Brenner is there to make the play. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and a runner left. We move to the home half of the 5th inning. Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Stallions lead 3-1. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball, brought to you by the Ulster Savings broadcast booth with some helping hands from Sawyer Motors. The Sawyer Motors Car Show takes over Saugerties Sunday, July 7th. We head now to the bottom of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up the center fielder for Utica, Easton Brenner. Riley on the mound for his second inning of work. And wow, let's go back to that inning of work, Logan. Talk to me about it. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
Well, I already said that this is probably one of the more clutch outings from any pitcher from the Stallions so far this year. This game, this score could have been completely different had Riley not gotten out of that bases-loaded jam, and we wouldn't be looking at a 3-1 Stallions lead. So the fact that Riley was able to do just that and get the Stallions out of the jam, and now we'll see what he can do here. But right now, it's hard to argue anyone else for the MVP of today's game.
So far, it's looking like all things point towards Riley as he gets ahead quickly to the 10-hitter Brenner, 0-2 now. Comes set out of the stretch. Curveball misses low there for a ball, 1-2.
And Riley continuing to attack these Utica hitters early in the count. Got ahead 0-2 early on Brenner, looking to set him down.
1-2 pitch catches Brenner on the Evo Shield, giving the Blue Sox a free base runner there. Very unfortunate break. Nonetheless, it's still baseball. We move on. That'll bring up the top of the order, Ryan Enos, the extra hitter.
Yeah, there's never a good time to hit someone, but let's be grateful for all you Stallion fans that they didn't come in the last inning.
To be grateful it was that batter and not one prior. Absolutely. Logan always looking on the bright side. Gotta appreciate it. First pitch in the dirt. Amory unable to handle it at first. Trickles away, but Brenner stays at first base. Nice job, Amory. Quick recovery there. 1-0 to the extra hitter in Enos. Runner on first, and Brenner gets his lead. Second offering to Enos misses away here, 2-0.
And Enos has reached base both times he's been up so far today. Walked and doubled in his 2 plate appearances. He 1 for 1.
2-0. Riley gets his sign from Amory. There goes the runner, and Brenner swung on and missed. The throw down, not in time. Brenner able to slide in there safely. 2-1 now to the extra hitter with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, that throw just kind of died out the second it kind of reached Heckert, or really close to when it reached Heckert over at second base. And it kind of ended up going low, just kind of the lower part of his chest. And Brenner able to slide in over to second base.
Enos in a hitter's count, 3-1 here. Swings at that one, up the right field line. In on it is Berkeley. He'll make the catch. Brenner's tagging the throw into third. Not in time as it gets away from Fish. Utica getting themselves a dangerous runner just 90 feet away. 1 out now, bringing up the second baseman, Luke Auden.
Second baseman number 1, Luke Auden.
Yeah, and as Brenner was tagging up to third, there was a great job getting back by Riley. As the throw got wide of Fish, if Riley wasn't there, then Brenner would be scoring, and it would only be a 1-run game again. So Riley just really executing on those pitching fundamentals, able to back up third base.
Absolutely, doing his job through and through. The 0-0 to Auden misses up and away for a ball, 1-0.
And Auden 1 for 2 so far today, singled and grounded out, making him 1 for 2.
Infield playing back. Not worried about the runner at third. The 1-0 is ripped into center field for a base hit. Utica able to get that one back. 3-2 is your score here. Auden with the RBI single in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Dedrick Kale, the designated hitter.
The designated hitter number 30, Dedrick Kale.
first offering is low and in the dirt, 1-0 to the designated hitter.
I think you need to get the bases loaded again for Riley. He's definitely been more effective, or was more effective back in that situation.
1-0 is shot over Riley's head. Heckert tries to tag the runner going to second. Unable to, says the infield umpire. 2 outs. Auden now on second base. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Dewey Roden.
Yeah, and Heckert had the right idea, trying to tag the runner at second when he was right in front of him, but just unable to do so with how slowly that ball got over there. He's able to get the out at first, as just able to come away with something on that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that we didn't hear a splintered bat there with the way that it came off it. Pretty lucky is Kale to be able to walk back in the dugout with that piece of lumber still intact. 2 outs. Riley checks the runner over at second. First offering to Roden is in on the outer half for a called strike, 0-1. Two outs. 3-2 is your score as Utica is able to get that 1 run back, making it the 3-2 score. 0-1 is just foul up that third baseline. Roden a little too late on that one. Very fortunate break for the Stallions as we find ourselves in an 0-2 count with 2 away here. 1 strike away from getting out of this one.
Yeah, that one rode the third baseline most of the way, just kind of died off towards the very end, and it would have been in a very great spot for Roden to take a few bases. But nonetheless, Riley going to continue here with this count.
The 0-2 as Riley checks the runner. That one is fouled at the plate, hitting Roden, able to fight it off in the box here. Home plate umpire will do his due diligence, give Roden a second to gather himself after fouling that one off. I don't even know what part of his body. Nonetheless, we are good to go here in Utica. Auden on second. Riley on the mound. Time is called. We'll try this again. Two outs. 0-2 is your count. Amory sets up outside. That one in the dirt. Ball 1-2. Good waste pitch there from Riley.
Yeah, definitely good waste pitch. He was up 0-2 on the count already, had that pitch to kind of throw away and get Roden the cleanup hitter chasing, but unable to do so.
Riley comes set, checks the runner, delivers, and that one's fouled straight back into the fence.
Yeah, and Roden just able to get one off the end of his bat. Just able to get a piece of that one to stay alive, out off to the backstop.
One and two, 2 outs. James Riley on the mound. He comes set. Payoff is ripped over to the first baseman, Scrine, and that bounces off his glove. Rounding third, headed for home is Auden. He will score standing up, and that'll be ruled a hit as this ball game is tied now 3-3.
Yeah, really tough to blame Scrine there at first base. That ball was hit really hard by a Roden, and it took a few bounces there as well. And although he did have a play, it was tough to make. It went off his glove, but you have to wonder out at right field why Berkeley kind of was jogging his way out towards right field to get the ball, as it looked like he could have had a play at home to get the runner out. But nonetheless, this game is tied.
All square now as the right fielder Ryan Maka looks at the first pitch he sees for a ball. Second pitch as well, outer half, 2-0 now. The right fielder finds himself in a hitter's count. No action yet in the Stallion bullpen. Swung through that one, 2-1 now to the Blue Sox right fielder. Dewey Roden with the big RBI single, knotting this thing back up in the 5th inning with only 2 more left to play. That offering misses away for a ball. 3-1 now. Macca finding himself back in a hitter's count. The 3-1. Not sure where, but that one apparently missed. Walking Macca. Utica still finding themselves in this inning. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Luke Schramm.
Yeah, might need a microscope to find out exactly where that missed on the plate, Kyle, but it keeps the inning going for Riley, who's really just had a tough time getting that final out, where he was so good at that in the last inning. And now to bring up Schramm, who also walked last inning to load up the bases in that last inning.
First pitch is an off speed to Lucas Schramm, and that one's in there for a called strike 1. Runner checked over there, and that is a called strike right back to the breaking ball there, in on the hands. 0-2 now as Riley is finding himself in a little bit of a groove to the left fielder.
Yeah, that's really a swing that's really a pitch you can't really do much on. That pitch just was able to catch the inside. You can make a swing to defend yourself as that one goes foul.
Roden on second, Maka on first. Lucas Schramm checking his lumber at the dish in an 0-2 hole with 2 outs, 2 runners already across this half of the inning. 3-3 is your score. James Riley still on the mound for your Stallions. Gets his sign from Amory. Checks the runner at second, comes set, the pitch, and that one is bounced over to the shortstop and Goforth, and that'll eat him up coming into the outfield. Throwing home is Shackelford, and the throw is cut off from Riley. Slightly offline, but very unsure on that one. Very tough break there as Utica is able to get themselves a 3rd run of this one, giving them the 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and Riley just, you have to question that decision from Riley. Didn't even turn around to see that there was actually a play at home. It was an interesting decision from the third base coach to even send that runner in Roden to try and go home anyway. But even still, Riley had a play, just didn't realize it. Now Utica in the lead is now 4-3.
The first pitch is fouled straight back to Troy Hamilton. Runners at first and second here. 0-1 count. Macca on second. Schramm on first. The third baseman, Troy Hamilton. 0-1 count. The offering. That's in there for a called strike on the outer half. 0-2 now.
Yeah, and they called that hit from Schramm an error on Evan Goforth, and that's really kind of the dilemma that the Stallions have at shortstop. Alex Rodriguez had a sure-handed glove up until really the past 2 days, where he had an error in that game.
Not to cut you off, Logan, but that'll do it there for this half inning, as going down swinging is Troy Hamilton. That'll be 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 runners left on. We move now to the top of the 6th. Your Stallions trailing in this one 4-3. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball here in Utica, New York. Stepping into the box in this top of the 6th inning, center fielder Easton Bertrand.
The Stallions are in a situation now. They're trailing for the first time in this game, the doubleheader. They were trailing all of last game where they lost 3-0. And they've converted in these clutch situations before where they were down. So now they will have 6 outs to try and get themselves back. Only down by 1 run compared to 3 runs in game 1.
Somebody keeps sneezing, and I'm not exactly sure who. Bertrand swings through that one. 1-1 now is the count to the Stallion center fielder. Time is called as that one caught the catcher, Reineston, in the wrist right there. Coaching staff will come out and ask if he's all right. Home plate umpire will do the courtesy walk up to the mound.
And Bertrand so far, he's 0 for 2. He did reach via an error in that first inning, got the RBI for the Stallions.
Speaking of walking out to the mound, for those of you watching and paying attention, there is a new arm. That'll be Ite Spinoza. Apologies if I messed any of that up. Out of Elon, the redshirt freshman left-hander. 5'7", 180. Getting that one in there past Bertrand. 1-2. The center fielder finds himself in a hole.
We've seen really a varying different combinations of sizes from these pitchers so far today. Jack Walker 6'7", and now Itai 5'7".
Bertrand will pop that one all the way up to the moon. It will bounce off it and land in the glove of Troy Hamilton over at third base. 1 out here. Stallions down to their final 5 as the left-hander Garrett Michelle will step in now. Every call to the bullpen this season is brought to you by Dallas Hot Wieners. First pitch to Michelle is ripped down to the second baseman. Tough hop, but he's able to handle it as Auden putting out Michelle. 2 outs now, and that'll bring up the left fielder, David Shackelford.
Yeah, these Stallions going down quickly against Itai Spinoza, and these are Stallions that prior to this doubleheader have really been on a hot streak. Some of them were on long hit streaks through a couple games, and so far really no answer through these Blue Sox, and they're showing exactly why they're one of the top teams in the West Division.
First pitch to Shaq will miss for a ball. 1-0.
And Shackelford hasn't hit a ball out of the infield yet. He grounded out to first and grounded out to third in his only 2 plate appearances so far today.
The 1-0 misses in the dirt. 2-0 now to the Stallion left fielder with 2 outs here. The lefty comes out of the stretch. Shaq will bounce that one over the shortstop, coming across his body and making a great play is Brady Short, and that'll retire the side. Stallions go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. You're listening to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth here in Utica. Bottom of the 6th we go. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Utica, New York, where the Stallions trail in a chilly one. Stepping on the mound, making his first appearance for your Stallions, Ryan Parker.
Yeah, and Ryan Parker coming over from St. Thomas Aquinas. Got here 2 days ago. He was here for the Stallions when they found out about that rain delay. We were supposed to go to Mohawk Valley, and now making his first appearance on the year and looking to keep this score right where it is for the Stallions at those last licks in the top of the 7th.
Parker hopefully hoping to pick up where Riley left off in the first half that he appeared in. Trying to just limit the damage, keeping the Stallions in this one as they head in for their final 3 outs in the top of that 7th inning. Parker just going to do everything he can to get the Stallions back in the dugout as quickly as possible.
And if there's one good thing for Ryan Parker to look forward to, facing the bottom 3 in this lineup for Utica, and they haven't done too well so far today, just combined 0 for 4.
Yep, leading off will be that shortstop, Brady Short. As you mentioned, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts already. Perfectly set up for Ryan in his very first, his inaugural Stallion appearance. Short out of the left-handed batter's box, hands above his head, the first offering. Outside corner, called strike there, 0-1. One inside for a ball, 1-1. The sun has completely set here in Utica. Temperature continues to drop. The winds remain a constant here. As Short grounds that one out to Goforth at shortstop, coming across it and making the play, throwing it on to first. 1 out here, and that'll bring up the catcher, Cade Reinertson.
Yeah, Goforth able to get a little redemption following his last time out. That error allowed the winning run to cross in that last inning, so able to make the first grounder he gets here. And really that defense at shortstop's been the big issue throughout these 2 games in Utica. 3 errors combined between Alex Rodriguez and Evan Goforth.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's not a winning run just yet, Logan. Still plenty of baseball to be played.
The go-ahead run.
Go-ahead run. 1-0, first offering to the catcher in Reinertson. Parker electing to go out of the stretch here, and that pitch will plunk the catcher, Reinertson. He'll take that trek up to first base, tossing all of his Evo shields over to the bat boy, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Easton Brenner.
Yeah, and that's the second Blue Sox to get hit in the past 2 innings.
Easton Brenner.
And Easton Brenner, the other one to get hit, the other Blue Sox to get hit, he got hit his last time up, and he now finds himself at the plate.
Brenner having somewhat of a big night here. Reached on a walk and a hit by pitch, as you said, and he's responsible for half of these Utica runs so far. Stallions are hoping to keep the base threat at bay with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Parker checks the runner and Reinertson at first, comes set, first pitch in the dirt. Scooping it out of the clay is Amory there. Ball 1, 1-0. Parker comes set. The 1-0 is ripped into center field. That'll fall in for a base hit. Easton Brenner hitting it to Easton Bertrand out in center field. Your Stallions are in trouble here. 1 out. Runners at first and second. Bring up the top of the order. Ryan Enos stepping in.
Yeah, and the question with Ryan Parker was always just how rested was he? This is going to be his first appearance coming over from St. Thomas Aquinas, and obviously had some time off coming before coming over to Saugerties, so he had to get himself in some sort of a rhythm, and now this kind of his welcome to the PGCBL as he got the first out but struggled to get the last two.
First pitch in there for a called strike. Parker working ahead here. Parker checks the runner at second. Enos rips that one up the third baseline. Spraying chalk everywhere as that one goes into the corner. Shaq can only put his arms up in defeat as that ball finds its way through the fencing. That'll score 2 more Blue Sox runs, courtesy of the quote-unquote ground rule double there. And that'll put Brenner back over at third base. The Stallions catching a big break there with that ball lodging itself in the fencing. Time is called and they'll have a conversation. Scratch that, he's just grabbing some of the Evo Shield gear from Ryan Enos. Blue Sox go up by a score of 5-3 now in the bottom of the 6th. 1 out, runners at second and third. The Stallions have moved the infield all the way in on the grass.
Yeah, it really was a lucky break for the Stallions. Shackelford just unable to field that one out and left, couldn't get the ball out of the infield.
First offering to Auden is flown into deep left field. Back goes Shaq. He'll make the catch, tagging up his Brenner, and that run will come across the score regardless, courtesy of the Luke Auden RBI sack. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Dedrick Kale. 6-3 is your score here in Utica. Ryan Enos on second base following that RBI double. 2 outs. 2 outs in the inning. Ryan Parker still on the mound. Kale fouls that one straight back into the netting. Parker continues to work ahead to these hitters.
But we'll see if Ryan Parker can get this last out. But if he does, the Stallions, just like last game, would be forced to be in a position where they need to get 3 runs just to keep this one tied. Remember, they lost 3-0 in the first game of the doubleheader just a couple hours ago.
That one misses for a ball, evening the count now 1-1.
That one just inside on the hitter, and Kale, who's 0 for 3 so far today, they strike out, fly out, and ground out.
1-1 is ripped up the third baseline, and that'll kick foul. One, two outs. Enos leading off from second base. Kale at the dish. 2 runs already across this half of the inning. Utica leads 6-3. Parker throws that one in the dirt, evening the count now 2-2 here in Utica. Parker checks the runner at second. Comes set, the offering. And that one just misses outside. Bring the count now full 3-2.
Looked like there was this chance that Parker could have gotten that call in the outside corner, but the umpire just not going to give it to him, and it's going to make the count go full. And Enos will likely be on the move at second to being a full count, 2-out scenario.
3-2 is looked at for a called strike 3, ending the inning as it stands. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, a runner left on. Your score 6-3. The Stallions down to their final 3 outs here in Utica. You're listening to the Ulster Savings broadcast booth, delivering you all the Stallions baseball this summer. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Utica from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Logan Barandis and Kyle McMullen on the call tonight. Leading off for the Stallions in what could be their final at-bats will be the 9-hitter Brett Heckert, followed by Nico Amory, and then the top of the order in Jelani Rogers. Stallions down 6-3 here in Utica. Really looking to get something going here.
And just immediately following that 6-game winning streak the Stallions are on, in danger.
First pitch he sees is ripped over to that first baseman. The big righty Rowden able to make a nice grab on the line drive. Stallions 1 out away here in the 7th as the catcher Nico Amory steps in.
That's an extremely tough break for the Stallions. Heckert hit that one on a rope, but unfortunately was just not high enough to get by Rowden out at first, who didn't really have to move too much to make that leaping grab. Now it'll bring up Nico Amory, who hasn't had the best of days with the bat.
No, been kept very quiet in that 10 spot, hoping to change his night around with a swing of the bat here. 1 out. First offering to him, misses outside for a ball. As Spinoza is on for his 2nd inning of work. The 1-0. And that one is fouled straight up and over the Stallion dugout. Could have killed anybody in front of that one. Look out.
Luckily no one really there for that, as this crowd, compared to what it was at the end of game 1, has just been dwindling every single second here.
The 1-1 to Amory is in there for called strike 2. Certainly not the kind of crowd that we've grown accustomed to over at Cantine. A lot of great fan support out of Saugerties. These Stallions consistently seeing those fans day in and day out, and we appreciate seeing all of you guys as much as you can get out there. And that one misses, evening the count now 2-2.
Yeah, I think that seeing that Canton Field fan base can be much needed for these Stallions tomorrow as Amsterdam comes to town, who leads the Eastern Division.
Big game tomorrow night, as that'll be one of the toughest opponents in the Eastern Division that the Stallions will consistently be facing. Haven't won any of the games against them thus far on the season, hoping to turn that around quickly. Amory finding himself in a 3-2 count, fighting to stay alive here.
Yeah, 0-3 against Amsterdam, but the closest that the Stallions have come was last time, where they were in a low-scoring matchup between them and the Mohawks.
The 3-2 misses, giving the Stallions a much-needed base runner with 1 out, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jelani Rogers, the top of the order for the Stallions.
And that'll end a stretch of Stallions that haven't reached base. They were 0 of their last 6 up until that. The last Stallion to get on was that Brandon Fish double.
First offering from Spinoza is in there for a called strike to Jelani Rogers. The 5'7" lefty gets his sign and he comes set. Checking Amory, checking him again. High leg kick. That one misses outside for a ball, evening the count here 1-1.
That was a good take from Jelani Rogers. That one just high in the zone, and that evens up the count at 1. Rogers in a position where if he were to get on, that would bring the tying run up, which is the heart of the lineup at Evan Goforth.
And Rogers rips that one up the left field line. That'll go all the way to the fence. Rounding second, making a hard turn is Amory. He'll be held up at third base. Jelani Rogers with an not an RBI, but a big double here in the 7th inning. You see him do that little dance, the shimmy that the Stallions have going. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Evan Goforth.
How about this? Maybe some hashtag rally pony action. We had a little hint of it in the last game where the Stallions able to load the bases, couldn't do anything afterwards, but now the Stallions in a potential chance to do that again. Jelani ripping that one out towards the left field gap.
Absolutely manhandled that one. Time is called as we'll get a Dallas Hot Wiener, not a call to the bullpen, however they are a bullpen sponsor. They bring the hot sauce out of the pen. The Blue Sox will take some time to just go over a few things with the entire infield corralling on the mound, and the pitching coach of the Blue Sox having just a quick chat. Second and third, 1 out.
In the chat, we better see those hashtag rally ponies. It's starting to get towards that time.
I need to see it. Logan, you know how desperately I love to hear some rally ponies. We need it. These guys could use your support. Albeit electronically, still need that support. Spinoza comes set. First pitch to Goforth is in there for a called strike in the outer half, 0-1.
And Goforth 1 for 3 so far today. Had that single back in the 3rd, came around to score. He's been heating up these past couple of days, and now with a chance to bring in a few runs.
0-1. Amory on third. Jelani on second.
All right, fans, that's 2 strikes, 1 away from your free
second pitch is in there for a called strike as the PA continues to blast my eardrums here in Utica. The 0-2, Spinoza comes set. Goforth checks that one low for a ball, evening the count now 2-2.
And those 10 Utica fans were denied of their tacos on that last pitch, but those taco chants still making their way through this stadium here.
1 out, runners at second, third. The 1-2 to Goforth misses high and away as that curveball is Spinoza unable to come around and finish that one. Count even now, 2-2. Wind whipping here in Utica. Something fierce. Spinoza comes set. 2-2 to Goforth is in the dirt for a ball, and that'll fill it up, 3-2.
Goforth continuing to battle here. These taco chants just not stopping.
Ain't no quit in that PA announcer. It's unfortunate for us. Nonetheless, we're here cheering on these Stallions. The 3-2 to Evan Goforth. And that one misses in the dirt. Ball forward. That'll quiet these taco chants here in Utica. Bases loaded for the dangerous third baseman, Brandon Fish.
And Kyle, these taco shells remain empty here in Utica as Goforth went from an 0-2 count. Now he's on first. And for the second game in a row in this 7th inning, the Stallions have the bases loaded. Can they get some runs this time around?
Can they indeed? The lefty-lefty matchup. Fish, a very dangerous yet aggressive hitter. He takes the first pitch he sees on the outer half for a called strike.
And Fish was finding his groove through the most part of this game. He's 2 for 2, got hit by a pitch as well. Had a ringing double out towards right his last appearance.
Amory on third, Jelani Rogers on second. And that time, as that ball hit Fish on the elbow, giving the Stallions a free run. 6-4 is your score. Brandon Fish trots up to first base.
Yeah, and it looked like for a second the umpire was going to rule that they hit the knob of the bat, but they're going to give Fish the benefit of the doubt, and the Stallions able to get 1 run off that hit by pitch. The umpire for Utica now coming to talk to the umpire. Now it looks like they're going to talk this one over. This could be a big review.
Exactly what you were talking about, Logan. It looks like it'll be a quick conversation, as both umpires seem very convinced that it plunked Fish's elbow guard and not the knob of the bat.
Looks like they're going to let him stay at first.
They elect to keep him at first base. Time will be called, though, as there will be a call to the bullpen. A right-hander will come in to relieve Spinoza, as out of frustration slams the ball into his glove. That ball goes flying over to first base. Who is taking over on the mound? You'll find out right after this. Welcome back to Stallion Baseball from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Dallas Hot Wieners. Bring the hot sauce out of the bullpen. Taking over on the mound for Ite Spinoza is the right-hander out of Wayne State University, David Thurman. Stepping into the box with bases loaded and 1 out, Jake Skrine. 6-4 is your score. Stallions down to their final 2 outs here in the 7-inning Game 2 doubleheader here in Utica. Thurman, the 6'3" right-hander, his first offering to Skrine is swung on and missed for a strike. 0-1's your count.
And Skrine playing hero ball in that swing. He had heavy intentions to bring home all of those runs and just came up empty on that high fastball from Thurman.
Skrine was definitely looking to put a dent in that shed over in left field. We tried again. That one misses outside for a ball. 1-1.
Yeah, good eye on Skrine to let that one go. Has to be patient with these pitches after seeing how the other hitters in the Stallion lineup were able to get on.
Infield playing normal double play depth here with 1 out. Outfield playing straight up here. Skrine looks at the next pitch in the at-bat for a called strike. Bring the count now 1-2 to the Stallion first baseman.
And Skrine's 1 home run this season coming at Mohawk Valley a couple weeks ago. Looking to showcase that power.
The payoff from Thurman. Now one misses low in the dirt for a ball, evening the count 2-2.
And we saw how Riley came in with the bases loaded for the Stallions, able to get out of that jam. Of course, Utica looking for similar magic here against the heart of the Stallion lineup.
2-2. And that one's bounced straight back to the pitcher, and Thurman throws it to second for one. On to first, not in time as that one trickles away. The Stallions able to plate a run there, trading an out for a run. That is huge. Stallions down to their final out, down 1 run here. 6-5 is your score, as Garrison Berkeley will step in and try and play hero with Evan Goforth over there at third base and Jake Skrine at first.
Big scenario here for Garrison Berkeley, and great hustle there from Skrine, able to leg that one out at first base, keep this one going. But now Berkeley looking to do it as well, keep it going.
First pitch swinging here as Berkeley fouls that one into the netting, 0-1.
Berkeley 1 for 3 so far today. He singled back in the third. That's his only hit so far.
2 outs, 0-1 count. Runners at first and third. Stallions trail 6-5 here in Utica. Down to their final out, Garrison Berkeley. Swinging and breaking his bat, popping into shallow left field. Coming on and making a great catch is the shortstop, Brady Short, who will get mobbed by his teammates.
You can't ask for much more if you're Garrison Berkeley. Hit that one into just the right spot, right behind Short. But a great play from Short. Diving stop to end this one and send the Stallions home empty-handed.
The Stallions come all the way to Utica for the doubleheader. Come up short 3-0 in the first one, 6-5 in the matinee following it. Unfortunate for the Stallions as they crawl back a game under 500 now, 7-8 on the year. We'll be home tomorrow night at Cantine against Amsterdam at 7:05 first pitch. For Logan Barandis, John Drager, I'm Kyle McMullen. You're listening to Saugerties Stallions Baseball, the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Have a good night, everybody.